Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I am bringing you my diary entry for the week of February 26th through March 4th. Today is March 1st. It's Wednesday, March 1st. It is also the start of March Mystery Madness. So, if you've seen some of my Vlogmas videos in the past, you'll know that when I do check-ins like this, you normally don't see my face. And that is because it is currently 1:15 in the morning. So since it is March Mystery Madness, I thought that it might be nice to not really daily vlog, but maybe do a few more check-ins than I normally do during the month. I typically do my Disis19 Diaries weekly, which is just a recap of what I read, what I watched, what I crafted on during the week, and little life check-ins here and there. But I thought I'd do it kind of real time during the month of March. Like I said, I don't think these are going to be daily check-ins, but we'll see how my reading goes through the month. I will say that I did start on my March Mystery Madness reads just slightly early. I started them yesterday on February 28th, and so I do have 2 books on the go at the moment. The first book that I started was on my Kindle, and this is a Kindle keyboard. I think it's like the 2nd generation or something. Yes, my Kindle is very old, but I do really like it. It still works, so that's great. And on my Kindle, I am reading Fae Fever, which is the 3rd book in the Fever series by Karen Marie Moning. I'm doing this as a read-along with my friend Janaea over at Live a Thousand Lives for her Fever series read-along. And so we are doing the 3rd book in the 3rd month. I am on chapter 4, which is about 23%. Pretty interesting stuff going on at the moment, though I will have to say the beginning of this book was kind of a really long recap. So things just started to happen within the last chapter. So I'd say like the first 2 chapters were recap, which for someone who's read the installments back to back was unnecessary, and it felt like it was wasting pages. But for someone who was reading as the books came out, or took time in between the installments, I could see how a recap would be helpful. So it's just my reading experience that is affecting that, but I'm enjoying what's happening right now, and I actually intend on digging into this one as soon as I finish filming this clip. And so that is the first book that I started. And then during my lunch break today, I started an audiobook, and I started my reread of What's a Ghoul to Do by Victoria Laurie. This is the first book in the Ghost Hunter Mystery series. And so this book is I would say it's kind of a cozy mystery. Our main character, MJ, is a psychic medium, and she helps to exorcise buildings and things of evil spirits, and helps other spirits pass on to the next plane. In fact, at the very beginning of this book, she does in fact do that in a home. She deals with an evil spirit and a victim of the evil spirit, and so you kind of really see what she does and how she handles it really early on in this series. And so I have been wanting to reread this series for a while. It is one of my favorites, and so yeah, I thought March Mystery Madness would be a great time to do that, because one of our prompts is to repeat. And so I'm going to be rereading this book, maybe even more installments from this series during the month. I did opt to listen to the audiobook. So the first time I read this series, I read them all physically, and I do have them all physically now. I borrowed them all from my library the very first time that I read through this series. So I do have all of the books in this series now in paperback copies like this. I am enjoying the ambiance at the moment because it is pouring right now. Just started pouring really hard outside. And if you know me, you know that the sound of rain is one of my most favorite sounds in the world. But anyway, back to this book. This first installment is not my favorite. At least I don't remember it being. I've only read each book in this series once, but I don't remember this book being my favorite. I am about 4 chapters in here as well, and it's okay. We're getting to know our characters, and she's just picked up another case. And part of the reason why this particular book was not my favorite was because of how she is perceived by the person who is looking to hire her. And so, yeah. We're past that now. She's accepted the job, and so they're getting ready to tackle that house. I believe it's a house. So yeah, I am enjoying the audiobook of this. I did purchase all the audiobooks as well, and so the narrator is doing a really good job. I'm quite enjoying the narration, so I'm going to be continuing this one on my lunch break today. And so that's kind of my check-in right now for March Mystery Madness. I've got 2 books on the go, and I'm hoping that I'm going to have a great reading month with lots of finished reads and maybe even some continuing series. And so, yeah, I just wanted to check in with you and let you know what I was reading, how I was getting along during the month. And so, yeah, I think I'm off to a great start with 2 enjoyable reads. And so, I'm not sure, like I said, that I will be checking in daily, but I will let you know as I have feelings on my reads. And so, yeah, I hope everyone is having a great start to March. And if you're participating in March Mystery Madness, let me know down in the comments below what book or books you started March Mystery Madness off with. So I'm going to tuck in with Fae Fever, and I will catch you in a bit. Hi everyone, it is Saturday, March 4th. And so right before this, you should have seen a little clip of the start of March Mystery Madness for me. Unfortunately, I have not finished anything since I talked to you last, even before the time that I talked to you last, because I was just starting 2 books. So I am still reading those 2 books. I haven't finished anything. So I will only have a little bit of a reading update for you today. And then I did have a little bit of progress on my blanket of reads. And I'll let you know how the rest of my week went. And so, yeah. So I am about 76% into Fae Fever, which is the 3rd book in the Fever series by Karen Marie Moning. I'm doing this as part of a read-along that my friend Janaea over at Live 1,000 Lives is hosting. This is entertaining, I would say, but as of where I am right now, I'm probably going to say that this is the one that I've enjoyed least so far of the 3 that I'm at so far. Now, this one hasn't finished, but I only have 25% left. That being said, even if the end of this book is spectacular, there are some things that have already happened in this book that I am not enjoying. A few of our male characters are having temper tantrums, and I don't enjoy that. They're acting like children. I don't feel like our main character should be like romantically linked to any of them. I don't know at this point if she will be, but none of them are looking very good to me right now. I have issues with all of them. Every single male that she's come across, I have an issue with, besides her dad. Her dad seems like a really nice guy, but as far as like romantic relationships, I don't think any of them are worth worth it for her. Like, they don't deserve her. There is something going on right now where she's trying to train to learn how to not be susceptible to a certain gift. And the way that it's being taught to her, I do not like. Like, there are ways to do that where it doesn't end up where she's unaware of what is going to happen to her while it's being done. Like, I can't even really give you an example because it would be a spoiler, but it feels like she's completely unaware of what the training that she's being put through entails every, like, lesson. And the way the lessons are shaping up, things are getting more and more violent. And she just seems to be okay with it. And I find that to be the things that are happening to her to be abusive. Because it's not told to her, okay, this is what we're going to do beforehand. The teacher just does it. And that's not right. To me, it doesn't feel right. It feels abusive. And it feels like violently abusive. I mean, she is bleeding after some of these lessons. And I don't know that she knows that that's what she signed up for. So it's making me very uncomfortable. I know with this series before, I've heard a lot of people talk about a specific character in this series and how much they like him, but he is rubbing me the wrong way. I am not enjoying him at all. And I find the things that he is doing very childish, and the way that he's going about things to be problematic. And so as much as I'm enjoying, like, watching Mac decide on certain situations on her own, like, logically figure out certain things, I am not enjoying this one very much. Like, there's not enough of the whole mysterious element where they're trying to, find that book. That's kind of been the thing from the get-go of this story, is there is a book that they want to find. Now we're getting all of that information on why this book is so important, not only to Mac, our main character, but to other people that are heavily featured in this series. So that's all interesting as well. But there's just a lot of, like, I don't know, sabotage on Mac's behalf as well. There's no clear communication. And you know me, I do not like the miscommunication trope. That really irritates me. And on top of that, with the guys being all childish, especially when they're like several hundreds of years old and they're still acting like children, I am not enjoying that. So, looking forward to seeing what happens in the end, 25% of this book. Hopefully, something will happen, something big, because I, so far, have just kind of not enjoyed what has happened so far in this book. And so, yeah. Unfortunately, I think this one's going to top out at a 3.5 for me, if not be a 3. But we'll see what happens in the last 25%. That something might happen where it might change my mind. But I don't think so. I think it's going to top out at a 3.5 or a 3. So we'll see. I should finish that one in the coming week. And then I am also continuing to do my reread of What's a Ghoul to Do by Victoria Laurie. This is the first book in the Ghost Hunter Mystery series. You have heard me talk about this series several times on my channel. It is one of my favorite series. This is a complete series. And so I've finally gotten myself to reread it or start my reread. Now this particular one is not my favorite. I've told you before. it is still not my favorite. I think it largely has to do with her client in this one. Obviously, because we follow MJ through different cases with each book, the clients change, and so we don't see this client a lot. But I still don't like him. So that's kind of the reason why I didn't enjoy this first one as much. And I'm listening to the audiobook of this for the first time. The first time I read through this, I read it physically. I borrowed copies from my library. This time I opted to listen to the audiobooks. I did purchase all of the audiobooks from Audible. And so I'm listening to the audiobook for the first time, and I'm not enjoying certain characters. Gilly in here is MJ's assistant. He's also a gay man. And in the narration, he just sounds whiny. Like when I was reading it, some of the things where he is like, making snide comments or complaining about something, it sounds funny. Like in my head when I was reading it on page, it sounded funny. But on the narration, it sounds whiny. And I don't like that. Don't like that at all, because Gilly is one of my favorite characters. And even more so, he's well loved amongst the community who loves Victoria Laurie's work. So much so that she wrote a spin-off series that includes Gilly in it as a main character, not MJ. She's kind of doing a crossover series between her other series, which is the Abby Cooper Psychic Eye series, which is much more of a contemporary, not so much supernatural as this one. It feels more contemporary series where we're following a psychic medium who helps the police with some cases. I haven't read very much from that series. I've only read 2, but that series is still ongoing and it's much longer than the Ghost Hunter series. But yeah, Gilly is in a different series with the sister of Abby Cooper, who shows up in the Abby Cooper Private Eye series. And their series is called the Life Coach series because Abby's sister is a life coach. And so, yeah. Anyway, I got off on a tangent. So yeah, I'm not enjoying how Gilly's portrayed on the narration. He just sounds really whiny and childish, which is not how I read him when I read physically. So that's a bit of a letdown. We'll see how this goes, though. I'm still interested in listening to all of the audiobooks of this series because, like I said, I haven't listened to them before, and now I do own them, so I might as well give them a listen, right? I do own all of these books as well physically. So yeah, in any case, I am currently on chapter 12, page 230, so you can kind of see I've only got this much left. I think it's like an hour or so left on the audiobook. It's still enjoyable. I'm enjoying reacquainting myself with these characters, but this particular case was not a fave. The next one, though, I think is where it starts getting good. And if I remember correctly, that one deals with the Hatchet Man urban legend. I think that's the one. If I'm correct, I really enjoyed that one, and that's kind of where my real interest for this series started picking up. So, yes, just got to get through this one, and then I can get to the next one. I think what I want to do with this series is kind of marathon read as many as I can throughout the month. But that being said, I do really want to get into 6-4, which is by Hideo Yokoyama. It's a beast of a book. And so I think I may take a break from this one and dig into that one when I finish this, because that's going to take me a while to read, and if I have any hopes of completing it during the month, I have to start it next week. So I should be finished with this one relatively soon. I am, like I said, listening to this on audio, so I'm only listening on my lunch break. But if I finish Fae Fever relatively soon, then I will polish this one off by audiobook right after that. So yeah, that's my plans for the next week. I think 6-4 should be in my next reading update for next week, which will be March 11th. And then other than that, I did put in a little bit of work on my blanket of reads. So this is where I was the last time, or somewhere around here. I forgot to move the little marker here until after I had already put in a couple rows. So I just put it in wherever I was, and then I've only done a little bit. This is actually Grey Walker. So I'm into my February reads right now. So I am still behind, like a month behind, but that's okay. I knew I was going to be behind with this project. But yeah, so I've got this much left to go on the strip. So I think I'll be able to put in Grey Walker and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets before I get to the end. I think. I haven't actually counted the rows, but I think. So yeah, slow. It's a slow project, but it's still keeping my interest. I still have interest in continuing with this project. And I'm just going to let it take me however long it takes me. And if it takes me till next March, then it takes me till next March. But yeah, so far so good. So I did about 1 3/4 strips for January. So I have a feeling I'll probably be a little around there also for February. Just a little bit less though, because I've read a bit fewer things in the month of February as opposed to January. But I'd say I probably have about a strip and a half per month. I think that's going to be my average, with the exception of any months that I dedicate to just manga reading, because those months will have tons of sections. And with the manga reading, they're normally 4 or 5-star reads, so all of the panels are going to be like this long or this long. So those will take longer as well, and there will be much more of them on months that I dedicate strictly to manga reading, like May Manga Madness, which is another personal thing that I do. I try to dedicate all of my reads in the month of May to manga, but I do slide in a little bit of middle grade during the month because it's also middle grade May. But mostly manga in the month of May, so I'm going to have lots of little sections to do for May. And then I obviously do my manga advent calendar in December. So last December I did like 30 volumes of manga. Most of them were 4 and 5-star reads. So I think this blanket is going to be rather large. So I was a little bit concerned about the width, if it was going to be wide enough. I'm not so concerned about the length because I think it's the length that a good length for me, but I was more concerned about the width, and I think it's going to be a good width. So yeah, that's where I am with that. And now I guess we get to how my week went. So this week was bad. This week was bad. We had a situation with one of our clients, and my boss just decided he was not going to step in and help with any of it. He kind of dumped it all in my lap, and I wasn't very happy. My stress level this week has been through the roof. That business opportunity meeting was kind of an offer to work longer hours for more pay, but we weren't given a number, and I don't want to work more hours. I feel like I work enough hours as it is, and I don't get paid overtime. And so, yeah, I put a stop to that. My coworker is thinking about it, though, because she's close to retirement and she wants to sock some extra funds in towards her retirement fund. And I was like, you go. if you want to do it, but I'm sorry, it's not for me. And so I squashed that idea. We were also told that they'd like to cipher more work to us, even though I don't want to work more hours. So we're going to be taking on a few more clients, which that's fine. I don't mind working a little bit longer every day. I don't get paid overtime. But yeah, at least it's the clients that they're ciphering to us are like in our wheelhouse. It's the same industry as what we specialize in, so I don't feel too out of my depth taking on a few more clients. But yeah, I'm not into working more hours, even if it's for more pay, because pay wasn't offered. It was just like, oh yeah, if you work more hours, we'll give you more pay. Well, how much more pay? Well, yeah, well then no. I mean, I'm kind of at that point in my life where I'm really like, how much of my life do I want to dedicate to working? Is working making me happy? And I think over the last 6 months, that answer has been no. I have had the most stressful last 6 months. And yeah, it's something that I need to manage. I need to figure out a way to manage it. Even today, I wasn't feeling well. I got to the chair late today, by 3 hours. My heart is just not happy. Like physically, my heart is not happy, and so I need to find a way to de-stress better. So working more is not going to help that. So that was that. I made 20 years at my job yesterday. Again, it went unrecognized, and I don't know what to do. Like most people would tell you, go look for another job. But at the same time, I'm kind of given the free will to do what I want during the day. I can work as long as I want during the day. I'm good at what I do. I'm not expected to learn more trades, but I do feel unappreciated. So there's a whole nother story that goes on with that. And it's another reason why I don't want to work extra hours, even if they're offering more pay. We are fighting for raises at the moment. And the negotiation hasn't been good. Like that was the first offer was, well, if you work more hours, we'll give you more pay. Well, why should I work more hours to get more pay? Especially when it seems like we're unappreciated for the job we do. So my coworker and I are in the same boat. We're kind of fighting this together, which is nice because we both kind of got each other's backs on this. But yeah, it's just been a struggle. It's been a struggle. And my boss just kind of dropping the ball without telling us that he's going to be dropping the ball. Like he just steps away and is not at his desk for a majority of the day and doesn't tell us that he's not going to be there. And so when issues come up with clients and they want to talk to him, he's not there. It's just a mess. And it adds to my stress. And so anyway, I'm going to stop talking about this now. I'm going to wrap up my filming for the day. Like I said, I came to the filming chair late. It just was not feeling well. And once I finally sit down in the chair and start getting it done, it's fine. But it took me a lot to get myself motivated to do this today. And so, yeah, I think that's just another sign of my stress load. So we'll see. I have vacation coming up in over a month, almost 2 months. I'm contemplating trying to take off in a couple of weeks, but like I said, we're taking on a couple new clients. And I just don't want to make it seem like, oh, we told you we were going to give you some new clients. Why are you taking vacation type of thing? So those new clients should come to our office or our book of business this week sometime, if not early next week. So this week, the week that you're seeing this, not the week that I'm filming. So yeah, it's just, there's a lot. Plus, if you have history with me, you know that this upcoming week, the week after you see this, is not a good week for me mentally, because it is the anniversary of my grandfather's death, and he and I were very close. He was like a father to me, even more so than my own father. I know I've talked to you guys about this before, so I just get really down in the spirits around this time of the year. And so, yeah, it's just, everything is not great for me at the moment, but I'm pushing through. I'm taking it as I can, and I think that's all that I can do. So, yeah, hopefully next week will be better. I have been playing a bit of video games with my daughter. We've been co-oping on Genshin Impact, and that has been fun. But because I've been video gaming, I haven't been knitting. But, you know, it's another thing that my daughter and I can do together, and so I have been enjoying that, spending time with her doing that. And so, yeah. The car issue seems to be almost finished, which has caused even more stress because the insurance companies just can't seem to get certain things right, and it's irritating. But I think we're almost done with that, so that'll be a load off my plate soon, hopefully. And so, yeah. So I'm going to stop being a downer. Try to be a bit more positive. Try to be a little bit more relaxed. Try to de-stress a little bit better over the next coming week, and hope for the best. So I hope that your week was better than mine. Let me know if you're participating in March Mystery Madness. If you have a TBR video up, or your TBR is posted somewhere, let me know where it is so that I can go look and see what you'll be reading. If you're doing any kind of special project during March Mystery Madness, or just want to talk about what you're reading with me, please let me know down in the comments below. Also, let me know if you've done anything fun and exciting over the last week. I'd love to know that as well. Starting your March off with a bang. How did your February reading go? Did you do well? Did you enjoy your last read of February? I'd really love to know that as well. If nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a ghost emoji for the little ghost that's on her purse down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.